Welcome to the
Brodies.
And we're back
At the Brodies.
A bunch of bros
On the chairs. On the couch, I mean. 2 for 2 now.
I don't know if that's 2 for 2. I don't know if that's 2 for 2. That's 1 for 2.
I'm going right back to my quiet mode.
That's one for 2.
I like you blew it. You had one shot.
You banned 500 right now. That's cool. It's cool. It's a good average.
You got one shot and you blew it.
Sorry.
But
and
nah.
I'm gonna be proud.
You know, it's a pleasure to be back in the area with my wonderful brothers to talk some wonderful things today. I'm Mr. Brown.
Slim.
Cass in the building.
And what we talking about today?
What aren't we talking about today? That's what I like it. No, just this. This is America. That's this.
So America, we gonna talk about a lot of stuff, but I think Kaz but I think he read my journal.
I found it.
He found it.
I found this little journal when we were living together.
Yeah. So he looked at some of my old entries. He was like, you know what? That boy Brown be spitting.
Nah, Brown be spitting. Like, that nigga be spitting.
Yeah.
But when you text a group, when you text us a message, I was like, Cass on something today. I was like, this is so much passion behind this group message we
You've
had.
seen the not arguments, but conversation I've been having with some of my friends that are like cops and stuff. Just like the back and forth. Like kids that I played baseball with growing up. Obviously playing baseball, you play with a lot of white kids. So like, just having those kind of discussions back and forth. And I've been the friend that's been going out like, no, I need to know where your allegiance is right now. I'm race baiting. I'm purposely race baiting. So,
Man, you can't bait race
yep,
as a
I'm
black
baiting.
man.
I'm baiting.
Can't bait. They made the bait. Nigga, that's like me giving a fish guts. Nigga, I don't know. Like, what you want me to do? So if you don't know America, let me talk. Camera right there. Okay. If you don't know America, like the world is burning. And
Burn it down.
And if we seldom, or do we, talk about where we're actually located? We're located in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, they have an idea.
They have an idea.
Yeah.
Like DMV area.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they don't know where, but just we're
Yeah.
somewhere in this area. Vicinity.
If you don't know what DMV stands for, that's D.C., Maryland, Virginia. Virginia's last for a reason. it's a reason.
There is a reason.
It's very much a reason.
Even though they got some of my respect back when they took down the statue. Some, not all.
So, guess what? They had to take down those statues. Got some of my respect back because they took down the statues, and I should let them joints go up. Anywho, we're home in D.C. where we have streets named Black Lives Plaza now, thanks to Mr. Trump and his policies of just what's going on. So if you don't know, it's been protests for the murder of George Floyd. And I don't even want to be disingenuous by saying it's because of the murder of George Floyd, because it's so much bigger than George Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think it's still about George Floyd, then you're sadly mistaken. You're sadly
It's
mistaken.
about so much more.
So much more. Like, because if we want to go back, we can go, this is the murder of Emmett Till. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still hurting. And that homie died way before I was even thought of.
Yeah.
Like, before my parents was even thinking about laying down with another human, I hope. I pray to God, y'all better been good Christian boys and girls. But it's much, much deeper. And our city has been protesting. We are one of the cities that's been protesting.
And this has been one of the longest protests in like history.
Man, yeah, it's been popping like since 1968. All 50 states have been protesting.
In 18 countries.
You know, some of the countries trolling.
Yeah, they
some
are.
of the countries trolling.
But sometimes I can live with a show.
Yeah.
I can live with a show.
Iran was like, y'all should treat y'all people better.
That shit was funny.
I was like, yo, come on, Iran. Come on now.
Iran was like, oh, I'm not going to miss this opportunity. Throw the shade.
Y'all care about Black Lives for real, for real. Y'all just like, yo, you want to go to America? Look what they doing over there, Ahmed. They don't care about you either.
Oh my God.
What? That say something inappropriate? That say something inappropriate? Huh?
Man, it's funny. I'm sorry, that's funny.
Huh?
That's funny to me.
So,
but that's hilarious. I love it.
So we had one of our people went in the field, and we want to hear like how was the protest here in the city.
What was your experience like? I'm pretty sure it was a powerful movement to witness that, and to be in that element with everybody out there trying to make a change for America. So
It was all. I went 3 times, so it was like special each time for different reasons. I think I went last Saturday, I believe, was the first one that I went to, and something about it. It was at night. It was just very powerful. That's one of the more like reckless ones where they were like throwing firecrackers at the officers, like letting the firecrackers off near them. They were like burning garbage cans like right next to their front line. They were starting to pepper spray some people because a lot of the protesters that were out, some of them were walking around like.
I got a question for you before you continue.
Yeah.
Can you describe the racial demographics of this protest?
The first night, it was, I'd probably say about a good 50% black, and then like 30% white, and then like 20% other for the first night. But then the last 2 nights I went, there's been more white people than black. So that's been something I thought was really dope. But that first night was just interesting because that's when I saw the most people get like pepper sprayed. You had people who were walking around with like carts of like water, milk gallon, like milk jugs that help people with the pepper mason ice and stuff. So I just thought that was really dope that they don't show you that like there are people within the protesters helping each other out during this stuff too.
Did you get pepper sprayed?
No, but I was like near the front line. Like I went with my girlfriend and her friend. I told her like, you gotta stay back. I want to go to the front line or whatever. Just to like see stuff, whatever. So as I kept getting closer, I guess residual
Pepper spray?
Yeah, it was like getting because I was like, my eyes are getting water. I was like, what the hell? I ain't crying. And I was like, my eyes hurt. This is weird. So I had to like back up a little bit.
So here's an important question, Snow. I want Cass. Because he could have prevented all this racial disparity that happening.
Mm-hmm.
Did you bring a bottle of Pepsi to erase all this racial strife? You
No.
had the power, my G.
No.
You could have done it.
I could have. I didn't. But I didn't. You're right. This is on me. I take this one. I'm sorry, America. I let you down. I'm sorry. Just blame this on me. I'm sorry, guys. I'll work on it next time.
Wasn't the original Pepsi like that?
Nah, nigga, cherry Pepsi ain't gonna work, nigga. Original, baby. Nigga, if you get Diet Pepsi, nigga, you only get Diet racism, nigga. I need it eradicated completely, my G. Continue, I'm sorry.
No, you good. So that was just very powerful for that night. And also just like the visual of it, because it was night. It was like a little bit of a fog with the firecrackers going off and stuff. People, it felt like every 10 minutes people were like just running because they thought something was going to happen.
Was this before or after curfew?
Before. I think this was one of the ones that set up the curfew for.
Was it curfew yet?
No, yeah. Because when we were leaving, that's when we saw like a T-Mobile got broken into.
Nigga, what you stealing from a T-Mobile?
I don't know. It was like the T-Mobile window was shattered, everything was gone, and I was like,
nigga, I don't know. I'm not savvy with the
Apple store was.
Oh yeah, you robbed that motherfucker.
No, but they track the phones. Why you?
I'm going for software and computers. I ain't going for no goddamn phone.
There's a person who can break that breach. It's a person out there.
But here's the thing. How many people know that person?
Yeah.
Hey, yo. Like, real talk, there's software out there that costs like $400 or $500 specific for Apple computers. I'm not going for the computer. I own an Apple computer already. And you got that new Final Cut Pro? You got that new Sonar? Yo, let me mix some music. Nigga. Yo, I lie to you not. I don't know if you ever watched The Get Down.
Yeah. I ain't finished it, but I watched like 4
The
episodes.
Get Down and the evolution of hip hop.
Yeah, I seen the evolution of hip hop.
So when New York had that blackout in the 70s, do you know that so many people became DJs after that, and it just birthed hip hop to a whole new level? Because at the time it was only like 2 DJs, like DJ Kool Herc and somebody else. After that blackout,
we all DJs.
we all DJs now. Like
we all got the equipment.
Everybody on the ones and twos.
Yeah. Or you want to rap on my joint?
Yeah, spit
some
that
stuff.
16 real quick.
Yeah.
But so that was like the first night, whatever. It was a little more chaotic or whatever. But then the second night I went to one last Wednesday, and it was more peaceful. It was more white people than black people there. I even saw one woman there with like her child. It was like the cutest baby I've ever seen. But it was like she had the baby on like her shoulders. A part of me was like, she shouldn't be here. But then another part of me was also like, if something were to happen to that baby here and it gets seen, America's gonna lose.
Oh, she bust that Martin Luther King strategy.
I don't know if that was purposeful or not. I just know she was there, the baby was there, me and the baby made eye contact. The baby was like, I don't know why the fuck I'm here.
Should I explain that to America? the Martin Luther King strategy? So,
yeah, explain a little bit.
So America, I'm talking to you again. So Martin Luther King was criticized for protesting using youth in his protest, and it was like, Martin, why you got these children, middle school and high schoolers, protesting with you?
Oh no, this big.
Yeah, but it was younger.
Yeah.
But it was very much photo op. That if you attack these children, it shows how far America will go, or these particular police officers and governments will go in these southern states to prevent people from getting full recognition. I was like, recognition? That's not a word. Recognition under
I'm with you.
under the law. And so, like, it's very strategic. So, yeah, I don't know if I would necessarily put my baby on my shoulders, but I would put my baby on my shoulders.
If my child was probably 12 or older, I'd probably do it. I'd probably bring her with me.
For me, I think for me, if I had a 10-year-old, even 8, I would bring them and say, hey, like, this is what this is. This is why we're protesting, because it gives them an insight to, like, what is really going on in America. Because I got
sympathy. Like, that nigga 6'6".
That 12-year-old 6'6".
And he got a beard.
He got a beard bigger than mine.
Like, God dang, boy, what you feeding that child? Like, yo, he eating you out of house or home. But, you know, you out there in the streets. Did you witness any looting or destruction of property while you were out there?
No.
Okay, cool.
So yeah,
because like I said, I told a story last week about going to Donald Trump's inauguration, and like white people was wild. Like they bust out the windows of the Wells Fargo when I was marching down the streets. They burned the limo. They burning trash cans and blowing out the bottoms and everything like that.
Now I did see some burning trash cans.
Some burning trash cans, but you don't know start them fires.
Yeah, I didn't know start. I just saw them.
Yeah,
Just like,
they're already on fire. Like, who's carrying matches and shit? Just something regular. Like, who are these people? I don't know. Like, I guess I don't hang around enough of the criminal element to know who does what. Like, all the criminals I know are drug dealers. And I'm like, I get it.
Yeah, like,
you know,
they ain't bringing lighters and blow up stuff. It's just like,
whoa, drug dealers and boosters. That's the only like true criminal.
we're not gonna talk about boosters. They are needed.
Yeah, no, I get it. So, if we were talking about looting, what would be like the 3 levels of looting, or the levels of looting?
I think one is that you loot for food, meaning that like I was already in a poor poverty situation. I'm struggling to feed my family, so now I'm gonna loot because I just want to feed my family.
So you were still an iPod
Well,
to feed your family. I'm just
get this Apple Watch here.
That's
hey yo, you got an iPod Nano? What you want to do with that iPod Nano, dog?
if niggas looted an iPod Nano, that's another problem. But no, I think level 1 is like you loot for like to feed your family, whatever. Then level 2, I think you loot with the intent of selling, meaning that like I'm already poor, so I'm looting to steal something to sell it back so I can get some money off it. And 3, you just loot because of your angry frustration. And I think that kind of falls into where we're at now, because a lot of people have already been home for 3 months because of the COVID situation. Then you got 40 million people unemployed. So people are just pissed and angry right now. A lot of people were promised stimulus checks that's never got them. And this is the first time where I feel like people have been at home where you have no distractions. Like, you don't got sports, you don't got really nothing to distract you from what's going on, so you see it. And with a lot of the other situations, like with George Floyd, it's like you saw the cop on the neck for a full 9 minutes. A lot of the other situations were kind of quick and instant. Not all of them, but most of them were like kind of quick and instant, so a lot of people were trying to give benefit of the doubt. But this was the first time it was like, you just saw, like, no, he was sitting on his neck, hands in pocket, just like chilling there for 9 minutes.
I have 2 questions
I possibly have 2 answers.
for you guys.
Okay.
Question 1 is very easy, very quick. Did you receive a stimulus check?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck both y'all.
I got it in my account. I was like, oh!
Question number 2. Would you loot?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, I
do
would.
put forever?
I would.
I would, and here's why. If I was struggling to make ends meet, and things were just adding up, and I saw a chance to like have a come up for me and my family, I'm
No,
already.
would you loot right now?
Oh no,
right
no,
now.
no, God,
Like
no.
you right now, not
No.
you if you was
I'm
back against the wall. No,
No,
you right
I
now.
wouldn't. No, because I'm not going to. That I think people who are doing that, they're frustrated, and I get it. I understand it, but me personally, I'm not going out to destroy other people's establishments.
Fuck that.
I didn't say destroy. I said
I'm looting and destroying. I'll say it.
some. God damn.
You know the rebel is over here.
Goddamn. All right, cool. So you was with the protest. You doing
Yeah,
your Doug Dizzle,
I'm
and
protesting.
you walk upon a building. It's already been broken into.
Literally.
Already been broken into, and there's some things that you might possibly need. Like they got a whole gang of toilet paper and Clorox wipes just lying there.
You taking them wipes.
And
you taking them Clorox wipes.
you like, nah, guys, don't do that. Don't.
I can't find wipes now.
No, I'm saying like
Yeah.
they got wipes in the city, bro. You see, they got the orange box and the green box.
The four set that come in 4 or 3.
Oh, they still wrapped in the plastic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm with it.
so you with it? You about to hop on them wipes.
Yeah.
You about to hop in there.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I'm just asking questions like,
No,
what
I think both are needed. I think you need peaceful protests, and I think you need the rioting and looting. I think you need to upset the establishment as well. Now, obviously, I don't condone it, but it's like if it's your way, how you feel, you need to protest and get your emotions out. Do it. I'm all for it. I just think you need both to show that you have your anger, but then you also show like people are trying to be peaceful about it. But you need to upset the establishment some way.
I get you. America, I'm talking to y'all because they know how I feel about this deal. That revolutions are a young man's game. It's very much a young man's game. I can't see myself going on the street and doing the protests and stuff like that. But the thing is, America's very, very slick, is that I'm bought into the system. I'm bought into the capitalism system. I own property. When you own property, nigga, I'm not destroying a goddamn thing. Like, nigga, I want my money. Flip, nigga. Flip. Like,
Level up.
level up. Yes. Like, so, but that's why it's like a young man's game. Like, I got a family. I got to establish things in my life that I can't foresee myself doing these things. But I understand wholeheartedly. I was watching news. I was like, yo, Jakarta's burn it down. Burn it down. Would I steal? Nah, I'm not going to steal because I'm good. I'm not hungry. I'm not wanting for anything. But if you want to steal, I get it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to steal for future. And damn sure don't rob me. Nigga, I'm strapped.
You gotta put that out there. I'm strapped.
Don't come to Maryland.
Don't come to me, playboy. You might get got. Give me your money, nigga, huh? Give me your money. We'll see how this game about to play out. But anywho. But I understand the frustration and the anger. And I think you're right. You need a balance. I told a young man, he was like, I don't get it why people are doing this. Violence is not the answer. I don't understand.
I don't know about that, man.
But I'm like, yo, you need Professor X and Magneto to know what's about to pop off. Like, you really need to go and figure out that when people do not have a voice and they don't feel listened to, this is the only alternative to what's going on. When the social contract, we said on the last episode, when the social contract has been written null and void for a section of people, then why should I abide by your rules? The rules do not protect me. The rules do not serve me. The rules do nothing for me but put your proverbial knee upon my neck. The knee has been on our necks for more than just this moment. All my friends I know have horror stories with police officers. All of us.
That is a fact.
And the fact that if someone was actively robbing me, I would second think to even call the police officers. Because I'm like, this shit might come out worse than what. Like, I would call my insurance before I call the police officer. And then they'd be like, you got to call the police officer in order to file a report. In order for, I'm sorry, I'm spitting on you. Sorry, even let things get back to normal. And I'm like, let me figure out some things because I don't want the police officer to come to my house and then
accusing me like
I'm stealing my own shit. You know what I'm saying?
like I live here. This is mine. Okay.
I'm like, we don't have a strong relationship with police officers. Even my homies who are cops, black homies, no, I don't got any white homies. I got one white homie.
I got white homies.
Yeah. Well, you got white acquaintances. You got legit white homies still.
Yeah, I got two white homies. They allies. I got legit two.
Yeah, you say two. I got one. How about you? How many white homies you got?
Well, I haven't pressed. I only pressed those two because like we're very close like that. Other ones I haven't. I'm race baiting them soon.
Like since this is going on, I had a couple of friends reach out to me and was like, "Look, man, like I'm with you. Like win, lose, or draw. Like you've been a solid dude. I see. I'm with you." And I'm like,
no, I've gotten those texts. I follow up on it. Like honestly, you just just sending that shit out just to send it.
I think I'm wording this wrong, but I saw on Facebook that someone was like, they were friends with you. They liked you, but they never liked black people. And that at the end of the day, you were the only black friend. But when it was like, you're so good for a black person, you're just different from the other black people, and you got to think to yourself like, huh? Like I'm thankful that I'm antisocial at this point. That I've only had one white person trying to reach out to me for reconciliation and trying to figure out how to like navigate life. Because I'm like, this is exhausting just with you. And I'm trying to put my other white friend and it's like, yo, I'm gonna give you the words since you've been on you've been reading Roots before without me even asking you to. You talk to her because this is exhausting.
Yeah.
I, as a black person, cannot dismantle racism because I did not create race. I did not create this system. That's white people's job to dismantle that. It's white people to dismantle this and everything like that. So I was like saying, we got white friends doing. I only got one white friend, and he started a whole Facebook group called the Friends of Devin. I'm like, what the fuck?
Can I get an invite? I want to get an invite on that.
Does that have your picture on there?
I know. I don't think I got a picture, but I was like,
searching on Facebook.
I was like, it's public. It's public. I was like, is this just for white friends of Devin, or is it for all friends of Devin? And we can discuss race.
I'm joining this. But I'm looking this right after this. I need to be a part of this group.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah, so it's a book group.
I've definitely had some friends reach out and say like, yo, I'm with you, man. Like I see what's going on. It was good to see that. It was definitely good to see that. And those friends, I've never really it's never been an issue growing up with that, you know. But I definitely appreciate the support.
How do you feel about the National Guards being brought in, especially because I think the most egregious National Guard acts have happened in two cities that are very, very close to us. It was no, National Guards didn't do that shit in Buffalo. That was regular police officers.
Yeah.
But National Guards in D.C. shot pepper spray, tear gas, whatever, to clear people out for that bullshit ass photo op here in D.C.
That nigga held the Bible. Let's go.
That joker ain't never even crack.
Fire their ass. Like they gotta go.
So the cop that did the push is suspended, and then I think 57 other cops
They resigned because they got suspended.
Yeah, they resigned.
It was no reason. Like what could that elderly gentleman do to them?
You got beat up by that 75-year-old man.
You need to be police officer. You need to. Literally, he didn't cause any harm. He wasn't doing anything illegal. He literally was trying to give them back the helmet, I guess. And for that officer to act like that shows his character, who he is as an individual, and it's sad, man. It really is. Like it really is. It's pathetic.
It's like he got pushed. Bleeding, and they tried to walk past him.
Yeah.
Like that was a fuckery.
Fuck shit. Yeah, no, it really is, man. It really is a level of fuck shit that's going on out here, and to see that, man, and I'm like, damn, it's Buffalo, like, man.
Burn it down and build it back up. Put your car in.
So, we thinking about how policing and what shocked me and amazed me is when they was like there are protests in all 50 states. And I'm like, all 50?
Dakotas?
Like God,
the Dakotas?
They got Native Americans out there.
No,
yeah, they got Native Americans out there. We got like goddamn y'all bitches stole our whole land. Burn it down. Burn it down and give them blankets with disease. Like well shit.
I wouldn't expect you to go that way.
Damn. Huh? Did you not not read the books. I read the books you read.
Yeah, but I just
The same books you read,
it's-
I read, right?
I forgot who's to the left of me, so I wasn't expecting you to say that piece there, but I get it though. Continue, OG.
They had a trail.
Yeah, they did.
That was full of tears. My nigga, like what you expect? Yo. But anywho, so we think about like just the policing of America and why there's so much discontent with the maintaining of law and order in America, and we got to think of how it's unequally applied to the different sectors of the society, the different sectors of our communities. And if you haven't, I'm telling you America right now, Ava DuVernay had made a very good documentary about the 13th Amendment.
Oh, that was beautiful.
It was on Netflix. It's still on Netflix.
It's
It's
still
still on
Netflix,
Netflix.
yeah.
It's still there.
Yeah,
I watched it the other day.
So, the 13th Amendment, the 13th, on Netflix, if you check it out, talks about how early policing really centered around slave catchers who would patrol different plantations to return property back to this plantation class of people. And even like affecting the laws of the nation as a whole, that you have these fugitive slave acts and all these kind of things to determine that we're going to maintain this system that is based upon the economy, that's fueling the economy of the South. But fueling the economy of the South also fuels the economy of America. And that is one of the key tenets of of policing in America. So, of course, that DNA and that historical trajectory of policing is still present in the policing of minorities now. I have a question for you. I don't know if y'all knew this. Do you know what they call an African American male in police lingo? When like a African American male commits a crime, what they call them in police lingo?
No, I do not.
How about you? Sir?
Nah, that's not what it
So my homie's a cop, and he was like, they call us a number one male.
Wow.
And I was like, bitch, we ain't number two. we number one. Like, and I know we even think about the nomenclature of how they refer to us as the number one male. The fact that they're policing us so much that, oh, nigga's the number one. It's the number one that's doing these crimes. And I hate the mumble jumble of the reason black people do XYZ because they commit more crimes. And I'm like, no, we don't. We commit crimes on the same rate and level of white people. We're over policed. As teachers, me and Slim know. If another teacher the year before was like, yo, Jimmy's bad, don't you think when Jimmy comes to our class, we're going to be having more of an eye out on Jimmy to see if Jimmy's going to act up? And of course, we're going to and like Jimmy could do the exact same thing that Steven does. We'll ignore Steven like, oh man, we'll give Steven the benefit of the doubt. We ain't giving Jimmy because we knew he was bad before he came into the room.
Yeah, we got wind of that last, like the year before. So watch out.
Watch out.
And that's so true though. Yeah, like how you worded that is exactly how it is. It really is.
And that's how they feel about black folk, of where we could be just walking down the street and then we double time. Me and Slim got pulled over.
Oh yeah, in the Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the reason the cop explained why he pulled Slim over was because Slim went from one lane to another.
And I used my blinker.
And I use my
Yeah.
But the fact that he did it at the last second,
He said it looked sus. It looked. You say suspect?
it looked suspicious.
Yeah.
It looked suspicious.
I said because I went from to left to right. That's suspicious.
And that's the thing we looking for. And you got to dismantle the system, because you can't say we could just hire a whole bunch of black police officers, but if the system is still dictated that we're only looking for African American criminals and not looking at maintaining peace and maintaining and protecting and serve our communities, what the hell does it matter who are our police officers, which it would help, But if the system is raggedy, how you think the police officers ain't gonna be raggedy? And that's the same way I feel about teachers, same way I feel about hospitals and the medicine that you give. If the shit is raggedy from the beginning, how you gonna make something raggedy not raggedy? Nigga, I'm bad and bougie. I can't. If it's raggedy, it's raggedy. You know what I'm saying, my G?
Nah, I feel you. Don't just love it. Don't just love
Like,
it.
nigga ain't got shit to say.
No, Brown talking his talk, man.
Shit be coming off like a toupee.
I felt that.
Nah, because it's like I knew it started with slave catching, but I didn't know much beyond that, so that's why I wanted to like just listen so I could get educated on it.
I mean, the history is there. The history is definitely there. And
Speaking of someone who's not navigating the seas too well, what's up with your boy Drew Brees, man? You want to explain what the hell's going on with Drew Brees and what this dude said in the middle of all this? Explain to America, one of y'all. I ain't. This.
So this is funny. So Drew Brees got caught in an interview. The interview was originally just talking to him about like what's going on in America, everything that's happened. He gave his opinion on that. Then the interviewer asked him his thoughts about NFL players potentially kneeling. And for me personally, it's not what he said, it's the conviction that he said it with his
said that
voice.
shit with his chest.
Like he said it with his whole chest out.
Mhm.
That's what made me just like pause for a second, like, oh.
You know, there's like 2 pictures with him kneeling and that, and I'm thinking, and everyone was saying too.
Yeah, but those pictures when he kneeled, that's when Donald Trump said something about the NFL, so like the entire NFL.
Yo, but you gotta think to yourself, he was hating that shit with his
Oh,
whole
no,
heart.
his whole heart. He's like, God damn it, I don't want to be kneeling, but
But put your hand on the chest. Put your hand on the chest.
like, if we gonna kneel, put your hand on your goddamn chest.
Nibble.
You know he thought that. He thought that. Okay. But so I just think it was highly insensitive at the time, especially for a man that's played in the NFL for so long, which is about 70% black, who's playing in New Orleans. So it's just like, and I don't want to take credit for, like, he's done stuff to help out the community in New Orleans with Katrina, his donations, things like that. I just think for him, it was an issue that I think a lot of white people have, is just like, they don't want to just face that realism of like, yeah, your grandfather fought in World War II. But you know who also fought in World War II? My grandfather fought in World War II. So it's like, you know, when he came back home, he didn't get the same liberties you did. He fought for the same land, and he came back and was like, oh, word, I can't vote? That's crazy. He didn't get the same liberties that your grandfather did when he came back. So it's just like, for you to be so strong on that, but also not realizing that it wasn't all white people that fought in World War II. If that was the case, I would have lost. So it's like, no. He was on the battle lines with black people. Potentially could have been my grandfather too.
Yeah,
I do
have a question for you too. I have a question.
Oh no. So I just think that was like really just insensitive of that moment, cause it's like, to me, even I can't accept the apology just because you said it with so much conviction, like it wasn't a mistake. You just meant that shit. Yeah, and also I just think people apologize when they get caught. So I don't believe too many apologies. Like, oh, you really sorry? Or you sorry you got caught? So it's like,
And I think it's not to his teammates and other people say something. That's when I think the light bulb clicked for him to apologize.
So that's what I'm like.
Yeah.
And they came out quick.
Yeah.
Oh nah, Michael Jenkins
He came out.
It wasn't even like Michael Jenkins first. It was Michael Thomas first. That was like, he don't know no better, y'all.
Yeah. And then a running back called him the ops. That one made me laugh a little bit.
And Reed called him a sucker. I was tired.
And my question: do you think the NFL owes Cap an apology?
Yo, that nigga a lot more. But
I think
this is true.
that nigga a lot more.
Roger Goodell came out with his apology the other day.
I ain't even bother listening to it.
Saying that they were wrong on the protests and they were wrong to silence the protests of others. He said no, he did not mention Kaepernick by name, but he said he was wrong on all these things. So today, guys, I'm gonna pitch to you the greatest Disney movie of all time. We're gonna call it number 7, the Kaepernick story. And
Disney got that in the works too.
So it's gonna be very much like Ali. And remember that section of Ali where he has to fight to get his license back and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And so we on that part where Kaepernick has been blackballed from the league, and then a big event happens and proves that he was right. And then he comes back into the league and he starts as a backup. And then the starter gets hurt. And then he gets the job, and he becomes an MVP of the league, and he wins the Super Bowl. And then it goes, Roger Goodell shakes his hand at the podium, and he goes, I always think. Yo, like,
I'm Captain, I would be like, yo, get the fuck out of my face on the stage.
and then racism is over, and he gives him a Pepsi. And
Oh my god.
In a perfect world.
That's how racism went.
Yo.
Kaepernick wins the Super Bowl, holding the Lombardi and a Pepsi. Like, I've done it.
I'm going to Disney World. Yo, that's how it's about to pop off. I don't know if he'll get a job back, but I think they're strongly questioning the practices that they have been doing. And I've said, many times, I'm pretty sure it was on this podcast or somewhere, that America has been built that they always wanted the black body, they never wanted the black voice. Let me say that again. America has been
Sounds like
built
slavery.
that they always wanted the black body, they never wanted the black voice.
What does that sound like, America?
And that's why they always tell, when LeBron speaks out, Laura Ingram was like, shut up and dribble.
But Drew Brees?
I'm like, oh, that nigga spitting.
No, that's basically what she said. Yo, that nigga spitting.
Mixtape of the year right here.
Yo, that's how the game go. But I'm not gonna be surprised because they never really wanted to hear my voice. It's a reason why they fought so hard not to have an educated black populace. Because when you can learn and you can think for yourself, you can determine for yourself, then you have something that's more dangerous than anything that can't be controlled. I know my potential. I know what I can do. That's why I fear, especially with this charter school system, and I work for a charter school,
This nigga spitting.
that the way they're experimenting on our black and brown children with these different educational policies, they're not doing that shit with the white kids.
Oh, that's a fact.
And because let's try this education here, try this education there. They don't get fully educated. It's okay because they were never really supposed to be educated in the beginning. We don't care if they don't fully succeed. If they do fully succeed, then we might bring that to another community. And it's a reason. And you could call it, it's just a coincidence. But nigga, it's way too many coincidences that happen way too many times. We just happen to have syphilis, my G?
Just kicking.
For years and years, my G? Like, nigga, I'm not stupid. Like, someone fucked up and let me read books. Someone gave me a library card, my dude. They shouldn't let a nigga read.
This nigga got both feet in. He's scoring right now. He's scoring. He got both feet in the end zone. That was a touchdown right there. He's scoring.
You know what I'm saying? Like we understand. And even talking about we all kumbaya right now. How we gonna kumbaya and we can't even agree what the Civil War was fought for? Like there's a segment of this country that don't believe that shit was over slavery. Right the fuck now.
Same people that believe in the Confederate statues being up in the South.
They all have IEPs.
Yo, and the Confederate statue shit, them motherfuckers wasn't even put up till 1910. No, nigga, 1865 to 1910, nigga, that wasn't right behind, my G. Like, nigga, you gotta be out your goddamn mind. Oh no, it's always been up there. It's about Southern culture and heritage. No, it wasn't, bitch.
Germany don't got Nazi statues.
Because America's never taken the steps of reconciliation. Even apartheid South Africa had a council of reconciliation. They even did that shit. America acts as if it never fucking happened.
That's one of the biggest parts of the disrespect about it.
Or that is still happening.
Like
And
nigga,
that's the issue.
That's the
It's
issue,
still,
that they don't
and
want
it's
to-
still happening
It's still
every
happening.
single
Like
day.
history's repeating itself. I don't know what you wanted to see.
Yeah. Like, what else do you need? Like, what else do you need?
get the dancing, nigga. That's what they want to see.
That's literally what they see. Get the dancing.
Like they don't want, and then like it's a good excuse. It's a reason, not a reason, but it's very convenient to have Asians do so well in this country, because then you can have the model minority where you can point like, oh, but they're doing so well in X, Y, and Z. And it's like, yo, because whatever reason y'all decide not to systematically oppress them anymore, And you was like, I don't know, y'all can see. I believe it's even set up to the point that Latino people can succeed Latinx, because, Latino being, ginger and whatnot. Latinx people can succeed in this country because it hasn't been a history of systematically oppressing brown people as it has been with black folk. The only two people they gonna keep that boot on their neck is black, and red people. Black on red? No, that's wrong. Native. Aboriginal people. I gotta find the right terms.
Good cleanup. That's a good cleanup.
Yeah.
I respect it.
No, America's colors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
mad colors. Trying to keep it black, white, brown, red, yellow, green.
I just think it's crazy from the Drew Brees to the flag, all of it. I just don't understand how people see kneeling as a sign of disrespect when in most cultures you kneel out of a sign of respect. Meaning that when you see like a coach talking to his players, they're probably all kneeling to like look up at them and listen to them. Even in certain coaches, like bowing down before you talk to somebody, it's like a respecting. The fact that a U.S. Special Forces military person, Nate Boyer, told Kaepernick, kneeling. You could kneel. Sitting is disrespectful, but kneeling is showing honor to the fallen soldiers.
The funny shit about all this, man, is that no matter what that man did, it was gonna be. That nigga could have covered his eyes.
And they would be like, "Oh, that's wrong."
That nigga covered his eyes. You better open your eyes, bitch. Open them up. It's America, Jack. We look at the flag when the national anthem is going. Like, nigga, I'm just covering my eyes.
He turned his back to the flag has been an issue. So whatever he's gonna do, it was gonna be hell in a cell for him. Whatever he did.
You can't do nothing. Like, you can't win for losing because when you are of the minority class, you cannot protest against the majority. Nothing will ever be acceptable.
You won't win that battle. Yep.
That's a fact.
Not at all.
Win that battle.
And when people who say protest and violent protest never solves anything, clearly are the motherfuckers who never read a book. Like me being, and W.B. Du Bois said it very, very, very succinctly, of the dual consciousness of being black and being American. I know my black history and I know my American history. I'm proud to be an American. I love this motherfucking country. But since I am a black American, I know how to criticize this. I know how to look at it critically of where we have fallen short of the myth that we have presented to the rest of the world. So when I see you tell me that nothing comes of violent protests, I'm like, bitch, I know about the Boston Tea Party. I know about the Boston Massacre. I know what happened at Bunker Hill. I know that violent protest doesn't get shit done. This country was founded on violent protest. And now I'm like, nah, not for y'all niggas though.
Shit, the Constitution is not for us either.
Like, I'm from South Carolina, my nigga. More slave rebellions happening in South Carolina than any other fucking state. If you walk in downtown Charleston right now, there is wrought iron barbs on fences. And you be like, excuse me, why is that on the fence? And they be like, oh, because of the slave insurrections were happening so readily. We had to put barbs on the fence. The reason that there's a gullah culture in South Carolina is because the black Africanisms were so deep and thick. Because we was the only niggas who know how to make rice. And rice was Carolina gold like that. And it was hot and it was humid and it had malaria and mosquitoes and insurrections. That white people was like, nah niggas, y'all good. They couldn't even sell South Carolina slaves to other parts of the country because like them niggas ain't gonna do right.
Hey, y'all keep them.
Them niggas gonna farm that rice, and when that rice is done growing, they doing other shit. We ain't doing no more the rice season. Rice season over, my G. I'm going to fish. Leave me the fuck alone. That's exactly what we did. We building some nets. We making some sweetgrass baskets. You can still get them shits right now in Charleston. We're not doing that shit. But that's also why we have more slave insurrections because we're like, yo, this shit is dumb.
Shit for the birds.
That's why we had the Stolen Rebellion with a slave named Jimmy. I like the fact that the nigga name was Jimmy. It was like, yo, we gotta take this shit over. And that's when the black codes came up. And they made, like, America's going out of its way to show that black people were different than every other race in this goddamn country. From the giddy up. Since 1619, my G. So I'm sorry, America. You should never let a nigga read a book. And I'm saying nigga very, very, very wholeheartedly because you created a nigga and I'm a nigga in your eyes. Do I consider myself a nigga? Nah, not really. It depends. have I been drinking? I don't know. but I'm saying it very consciously of what that word represents and what it means. And I'm on my shit. Like I
That
didn't
nigga spitting.
even write this goddamn outline today. Cass wrote that shit.
Yeah.
This ain't a Devin episode. This is a Cass episode. He wanted to talk about the shit.
We gonna call this DV episode.
No,
here,
but people got to know that I read the books, I read the manuals, I observed with my 2 eyes. When was the first time you realized that racism exists in America? What age were you?
I was 8 years old, walking to a basketball court, and I can tell you what I had on, who I was with, and there was an officer who drove by, and just called all of us dumb niggas, and I knew right then and there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
I don't. That wow. That's.
Yeah. Yep. And I remember going home, and I remember my dad talking to me about like racism, and for me, I never forget that. I never forget that day.
I'd probably say. I didn't probably have like my first real racist experience probably until high school, but I knew like of a race difference from like 7 years old with playing baseball, like playing with so many different kids and just seeing the family structures and how certain people would talk to each other. So I knew there was like a difference there, but like personal racism probably wasn't until high school.
7 years old. Nathan, I'm saying this fucking name. Nathan wouldn't let me into his house. And then we're playing basketball, I get knocked over, and he was like, "You dumb nigga." Like, goddamn, you ain't gonna put no A on that bitch?
I shouldn't be laughing, but
yo, but that's what it was when they wouldn't let me into their homes. And y'all know me long enough.
Yeah.
Whatever. In 5th grade, I made 107 for the year in science. 107. That was my final grade. That's all 4 quarters put together. My final grade for the year was 107.
You know who do the extra credit work?
yeah, word.
Nigga ain't do no extra credit. Nigga, I'm smart, bitch. I was not in the gifted and talented program, and my mom was like, "Why not? He made 107 for the year, and you have these other kids in this program. Oh, we don't know if he will be able to keep up with the work. He made a 107 for the year."
And can you just let people know like what was like the cutoff code for this?
Like, I don't know what the fuck was going on. Maybe they had a quota, because I remember even in elementary school, I looked at the yearbook of the gifted class, and it was a bunch of white people with Pearl and Michelle. That was like, damn, Pearl got the Asian spot, Michelle got the black spot. Michelle lived in my neighborhood, and I'm like, fuck, nigga, I'm smarter than Michelle. No offense to Michelle. Michelle's smart as fuck. Michelle's super dumb smart. She was a homecoming queen and everything in high school, but I made 100 goddamn 7. I was like, nigga, I can be with Michelle. And they was like, oh, sorry, Mr. Brown. Sorry, Mr. Brown. Y'all heard my mama. Y'all can look back to that episode. My mama ain't playing that shit. It's like, why is my baby not in there when he is smarter than everybody in his grade? I don't know if I'm smarter than everybody in his grade. Probably.
You and your mama baby, so
yeah. Like, nigga, I was most likely to succeed in my goddamn middle school class. Like,
and you did succeed.
I did succeed.
You did.
Because anybody who's still in Goose Creek right now, not all of them, someone doing some good stuff. Shout out to you, Jared. Keep teaching the children. Keep teaching the kids. But you other motherfuckers.
Oh my god.
Like, all my real G's, them niggas left. What up, Chuck? I see you in Denver. What up, Jay? I see you up there in Miami, building houses and shit. You know, but it kind of make you think, like, why we gotta fight through the racist bullshit? I really want us to be on a position where you truly judge me by the content of my character, not the color of my skin. That if a black person is acting like an asshole, and you say he's acting like an asshole,
It's not because he's black.
it's
he's
because
an
he's an
asshole.
asshole. That's how I want to be. Like, yeah, nigga, you're right.
But white America cares more about nationalism than actual race.
Explain that. Spit that. Give me some more details. Tell me more.
I just think they care more about their own interpretation of what like the flag is supposed to represent, what the nation is supposed to represent to them. So for them, it represents justice, liberty for all, yada yada yada. But they don't understand that it doesn't represent it for all. So they just go, if it's not affecting me, then it's not affecting them.
That's some cognitive dissonance you just spit right there.
Because it's also like
Justice and liberty for all.
but it's only justice and liberty for whites. Because in the Constitution itself, the cornerstone speech, It even has a part in there where they're talking about.
You can't just do that. The cornerstone speech is given by who? The vice president of what nation?
I have it here.
A rogue nation called the CSA, the Confederate States of America. Keep going.
Okay. I knew it, but I didn't know Brown would help me out there. Appreciate that.
Yeah. What the cornerstone speech said.
Alright, hold on. Since we on it, I want to make sure I get this word for word. Hold on 1 second. Because I do not want to fuck this up. So, in the Vice President cornerstone speech in the Constitution, states specifically that its foundations are laid, its cornerstone rests upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man, that slavery, subordination to the superior race is his natural and normal condition. This our new government is the first in the history of the world, based upon this great physical, I'm butchering the word.
Philosophical.
Yep, and moral truth. I was butchering the word. I get tongue twisted so fast.
So you tell me that slavery wasn't about? I mean, the Civil War wasn't about slavery, man. Suck a dick. That's how I feel about the whole thing. And I know I try not to be so pedantic and be so contrite with words that I'm giving, but
no, but we're in that time where you need to be like, you need to be blunt. You need to see it. It needs to hit him.
You know how many times I wish, like, that's why I can't run for office, because I really would be like, yo, that shit sounds stupid, suck a dick. And, like, clearly you don't read books. Like, you can't say that here. What about decorum? Like, nah, my G. Wrong is wrong, and wrong is wrong. You have access to the same information
That we do.
the same books, the same history, and you're rewriting, you're doing revisionist history. The facts are the facts. And you're trying to rewrite truth. Truth should prevail amongst all. And I know truth is not always pretty, and truth is all that, but but we're bastardizing the truth to make it fit a narrative that is not true. Now, if things were different, I would change my opinion. And I'm always about knowledge seeking. I watch Fox News just to see what they are, but I can't sit there and disregard like blatant truth and cherry picking information. You need the whole picture. That's why I don't even post memes on my Facebook page anymore, because I got caught myself of posting something that wasn't factually true. And so if I haven't done the research on the meme to realize like, oh shit, like they did some weird things with the data,
Yeah.
I don't post it at all. Because I even doing that left wing type stuff, like, yo, no, that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, like the only memes that I truly try to post are probably like stick to sports or like some
Funny
stuff that you can fall back on without, ruffling people's feathers. But yeah,
I just try to stick to that way. But I just think a lot of the problems also that in I feel like for white America at times in their families, because nobody's born a racist, it's taught. But I think one thing that I think can help is that, but I don't think they want to do it, is unplugging themselves from their family, meaning that, say you could have a white family, whatever, and themselves would not be racist, but if you go hang out with your grandparents, they grew up in a certain time, they're going to say certain words, certain lingo. But sometimes you don't want to unplug yourself from a community or your family or situation. Because I had this conversation with one of my friends where he talked about like his parents. Because growing up, we were always like close and stuff like that. There was no like racial issues between us. His family loved me, I loved them. It was like a good whatever. So, but I was talking to his dad about it. He was like, I just didn't let we didn't go see like my family as much because I knew where I grew up, and like it wouldn't be conducive for them. They wouldn't grow up with like, he didn't want them to grow up with that mindset. He wanted them to be like diverse, like learn about it. Don't be taught something. Like, seek it for yourself. Like if you grew up to be a racist on your own, then you made that choice. But I didn't like feed that into your head or give you any preconceived notions of what. I want you to make your own decisions, your own choices. Because a lot of the times, when you're hanging out with like your older grandparents, children, they hear everything. They might not be able to speak it in that moment, but they hear everything and it sticks with them. And I don't think people realize that. So I do think a lot of the times, in certain families, not all white families, but some, it's like if you could unplug yourself from the situation, I think that would help. I just don't think people want to do that because it's like, nobody wants to cut off your family. Nobody wants to not do that. Nobody wants to not hang out with granddad or grandmom or whatever. So it's like, that's why I'm just happy that at this protest you see a lot of white people there.
But
It's a lot of things to unpack, and I'm gonna
and I just want to say, not all of them maybe are allies. I'll let that be known. If there are 10 white people there,
And
burn it down.
This episode.
Burn. That's what this needs. You see what's happening? It's gonna burn it all down, rebuild,
And
that's what. You can't change the system. Can't change the system. It's gotta give a whole new system.
I'm gonna ask this question because I gotta go. I might not go at all because like I got strong opinions and I'll probably be rehashing some opinions I've already said. But to you guys, why do you feel or why do you think white people are afraid of giving up their privilege in order to break racism?
They're stuck in their ways. They see the power that they have, and I feel like when you sit at the top of the throne and you're successful, you don't want to let other people have that same success. You may not want to offer a lending hand, but I think just the world we live in, man, it's truly ugly. It's truly sad, and I think you see people true colors even more. You've seen it before, but now it's just with social media. It's just out there. Like everything is out there. Like the Karens and whoever else. Like you see it. Like and I
That Karen shit was wild. I'm sorry.
yeah, and I really believe that they've been at the throne, at the table for so long, and it's so comfortable. They don't want anybody that's not white to come up and break bread, and it's sad that individuals think like that, but this is a time where, like, as black people, we can come together because we're power in numbers. Like, we can take over things. Like, if we put our pride to the side and just saw the bigger picture, oh, dude, we can take over everything, but it starts with change. It starts with taking that one step in the right direction.
I think it's twofold. I think one, when you're doing when you're oppressing, you can never see the views of the side of the oppressee. If I said that correctly? Nah,
I can dig it.
You got what I meant. So I think that's just hard. But a part of it, I think, if they do acknowledge everything that we're saying and actually acknowledge the history, that's going to change their whole world upside down, and they're going to question everything they've been told from their families, their parents, what they've been taught. They're going to, like, question it all. So it's like, do you want to actually accept and face that? Some do, but majority don't. They want to live comfortably. Like, privilege is comfort, and you don't want to give up your comfort. Nobody wants to give up their comfort. So it's like, they don't want to accept that fact, because if they accept that, then it means, oh shit, then all the stories you used to tell me about my grandparents back in the day, maybe they weren't such good people. Hell, you can even start questioning your parents, like, how come you ain't telling me this? How come you told it to me a different way? So you're going to start questioning a lot of things. And that's going to flip a lot of worlds upside down. And I don't think a lot of people are ready for they need their worlds flipped upside down. But I don't think a lot of the families are ready to have those conversations, personally. Because when you're black, it's like, a white family right now could be like, oh, I just watch Disney because the news is too depressing, it's too this. But as a black person, you're like, no, we need to watch the news and stuff together.
It's going to take a lot because what we're essentially asking will completely flip the ideals and ideas and the foundations of what this country has been built on. And what we're literally asking white folk to do is recognize that
You're evil.
not even being evil, because I think when you're in a system, when people operate within the system, you can't call them evil or good regardless, because the system dictated
What they were going to do.
what they were going to do. And so you're essentially asking a poor white person, which the majority of America is poor white people, to acknowledge that their life is a lot easier than they realize, which says a lot when you're like, yo, I'm struggling, I'm whatever, and you have to demolish the lie of the American dream. That's what we're essentially asking America to do, and demolish the greatest thing about America, which is the American dream, that if you work hard enough, you too can succeed amongst your wildest dreams. And when you say that as a black person, that's not necessarily true. There was an era where normally we would have been applauded that a group of, if we don't even say they're African, formerly enslaved Africans, who immigrants, who built up a community, who amassed wealth, able to pass on the generations, they would have been like, yes, that's the American dream. Y'all did that shit. Yeah. But when it was black people in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they firebombed it and dropped bombs on it from the sky. When we decided to make our own banks, went out of your way to make sure that they weren't uber successful. When we developed tech companies in this new age, go out of their way not to provide funding for these companies. When our soldiers came back from whatever wars they fought,
World War I, II, whatever you want to name.
their GI Bill did not afford them to buy the houses that would have provided their families with wealth for generations. When you look at those 1950s pictures where the father works at the factory and the mom is a stay-at-home mom, and you were able to send 3 kids to college off a factory job, and you use that GI money to buy you a house with the white picket fence, that was not afforded to black soldiers. And to know that you are failing when you had the easiest level, when you was playing at rookie level on Madden, and not knowing
You was on rookie
that you was on rookie
with the AI settings all the way down, so like it's just
like you should have been scoring 72 points a game, and you still scoring whatever. So like yes, there's some successful black people, but you picking and choosing. Most of those successful black people, majority of those successful black people, are in entertainment and sports, which sports is entertainment because you was like you're entertaining me. That's why you so quick to be like shut up and sing. Shut up and dribble. Shut up and dance. Shut up and whatever. And when we do speak up, oh, they're just a singer. They're just an actor. They're just a this, that, and the third. And I'm like, oh, now you once again discount our voices. But that was the only, I'll never discount no black child in America wanting to be entertained because the entertainment is the only place where they have not put their foot on our necks in order to be uber successful. Chris Rock said it best. My neighbor who lives next to me who's white is a dentist. If a black dentist wanted to live next to me, he had to invent teeth. And, like, we could be doctors. We ain't going to be stupid dumb rich. Like, we could do well as doctors and lawyers and all that. But we're not going to be living next to Chris Rock. Rich. Like, how many braces did this nigga do? They get next to Chris Rock. Shit.
probably didn't even do one.
You know what I'm saying? To be like balling out of control, but you know that's just the way the system goes, man. So, any final thoughts? Like I said, this is part 2, man. Like, yo, man, burn the bitch down, man.
Thank you. Burn it down. Say it with me, guys. Burn it down.
Dracarys.
You ain't say nothing, Slim. Burn it down.
Shoot it up.
Shoot it up. Loot it up. Riot. Cause it all. Burn it down.
But before we leave, though, even if you do go out there and protest, be safe. I want to wish Cash a happy early birthday. His birthday's on Monday.
Oh,
So
Happy late birthday by the time this come out.
Yeah, so happy birthday, Cash. But yes.
Yo, so with that being said, what nigga?
I was gonna say, we are the Brodies and we out.
And that's not how we do it. I'm Mr. Brown.
Slim.
The birthday boy.
This is true. This is true.
It's the only time I can get that off. It's the only time I can get that off.
And we are
The Brodode.
nigga. That's
Brodies.
Bye, America.
nah.
This is America.
No, nigga. You
Okay.
do it right. You do it right.
Do it again.
Yes, master.
We are the
Brodies.